This is a mother-daughter troop, and Ruben, and who else do we have here? Me and Jeff. Me and Jeff. Hop up here. All right, let's go, guys. The art of storytelling.
Let me give you that one. All right. Wow. I'm so glad it's starting to cool down in here, huh? Man, it was a little bit warm earlier. I have a couple really special guests here that have really grown incredible businesses using the art of storytelling. So it's no surprise that we have a mother-daughter duo here, Elayna and Elyssa. And we also have Ruben over here from Triple Nickel. I love the branding, by the way.
Thank you.
It's really good. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we're leveraging the art of storytelling in business. And congratulations on the youngest speaker that we've ever had here.
Thank you so much.
And how old are you?
I'm 19.
19 years old, guys. This is it. So
It's an honor.
let's start. I'm going to pass it over to you, okay? Because I'm very intrigued how a 19-year-old is using storytelling in her business.
Right. So I started my business when I was 8 years old. It's called Holy Art. And my older sister and I started our company when we were little. It's based on whole values in art and really bringing meaning to art. And so storytelling has always been a part of our journey because we want to inspire kids and teens to be their best selves and to love themselves. And we've only grown into that mission as we've gotten older. And so now my older sister is in publishing and I'm going into filmmaking. And we're really excited to see how that goes.
I don't know about you guys, but I just had a math moment. And I was like, hold on a second. She's 19 years old, but she has like almost 12 years of experience. I'm assuming that you didn't just start out of the blue. I'm sure, Mom, you probably started even earlier than that. That's kind of mind-blowing. This is wild. So how did this start? Like, did she start showing some signs of like, wow, she's a really good storyteller? Or was she learning from you? Because I know you're quite the storyteller.
Thank you. Well, it all started when she was 1 and her sister was 2, and I was living in a very dark moment of my life. We were experiencing homelessness together, which I can attest that it wasn't an easy moment. And in that dark moment, I decided that because I felt so alone, I wanted to touch other moms. I wanted to use the power of my story to inspire other moms to know that they're not alone, that we all go through those moments. And so I started my blog, The Positive Mom, and they've grown up with storytelling. And when Elyssa was about 6 years old, she says, I want to start a YouTube channel. And I said, great, because when we need to consume media, and I know a lot of parents are afraid of media, but I was not afraid of media. I said, you need to be 80% creator and 20% consumer. And so with that agreement, we started her channel. She started a blog, and at that time, can I say that? Mm-hmm. It was called the Princess Blog.
The Princess Blog. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And so she's a very creative, very talented girl. And I think as parents and as mothers, because I talk to moms all the time, it's not so much training or inspiring our kids, it's actually getting out of their way, because they already have so much to share. They already have so much creativity, so much inspiration. And so just letting the fear, because there is fear. I'm not going to say I wasn't scared, okay? But not letting the fear stop us from letting them shine their light.
Wow. And Ruben, I know you are a content creation machine. How are you using storytelling in your business?
Good question. So here's the dilemma. If you're Ruben Ayala or you're Chris McPhee or you're one of my business partners, storytelling is so important because if you have an idea to want to create a relevant fashion apparel line in a very crowded marketplace, how do you do that when you have no money, in the middle of a pandemic, and you have zero experience in creating clothing? You just don't do that. And the way that you do that is through storytelling, because you have to compel people to want to buy into the product that you're selling. So when we created the company, the idea was, what is it that we all have in common? What is it that binds everybody together? And those common elements were, for us, We all served in the military, so we're going to tell those stories because the past 20 years, this is what we've been doing. We all love hip-hop music. Hip-hop rules the world next to reggaeton.
Yes.
And
Reggaeton.
just right down the street, they have the hip-hop museum full of graffiti. And that is a language that people can communicate in and can understand. And we love streetwear culture. So we took all of those elements and we created Triple Nickel and made sure that storytelling was interwoven through that so that when we speak to people, it resonates with them and say, okay, I think I can give you guys a shot.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit. Actually, we're going to go a little deeper into that topic. So as far as using storytelling, I want to make sure this is very tactical for people so that we can give them some advice on what you've learned, your lived experiences, and how they can apply that to their business. So I think I want to start back to you, who 19 years old.
Okay.
Elisha, it's mind-blowing to me. So now how do you rate success? Is it subscribers? Is it engagement? Is it revenue? Like, how do you measure success in your business?
My biggest measure of success is really who you're reaching. I could care less about how many likes or views I get, as long as I know that I'm making an impact. And so usually I measure that by people who actually reach out to me and tell me how my work is impacting their lives. After I gave my TEDx talk last week, for example, a lot of people came up to me and were talking to me about how much they related to how I felt when I was littler. Not seeing myself on the screen and the impact that has on you when you're little and how that goes into how you develop as you grow. So it's really impactful to me to be able to see how I'm touching people's lives.
And how important do you think that storytelling plays into your own personal brand? Is that something that you strategize? Do you think about that? Is that a low priority, high priority? How do you see storytelling in your own personal brand?
It's really important. I think the stories that I tell are the most important thing about my company and who I am as a person, really. And I think very carefully about the words that I'm putting out into the world and how I want to be known, and really using my voice as a catalyst for positive change. There are so many things that are going on, so much chaos, so many controversial issues, and I really feel that it's my responsibility to speak up, especially as one of the younger people in my generation, to make that change.
Wow, what a strong young woman you've raised. That's incredible.
Thank you.
That's really incredible and inspirational. I think about my own son who's 10 years old, and he's actually told me that he wants to start a YouTube channel, and I swatted him down. And now I'm starting to rethink here, and I love this 80-20 rule. So I might have to connect with you afterwards to see how I can make that successful, maybe set some boundaries. We'll come back to that later. This isn't a parenting talk, but I'm greedy, so I'll hit you up after that.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about mediums, because you obviously are crushing it, doing some really incredible things with your brand. So what have you found to be the most successful formats for storytelling?
I think for us, the most successful formats when we first started were Facebook and Instagram. Because if you look at me, I'm graying, and I'm getting a little older in the tooth. Okay, so I'm not 19 anymore. So our core audience that really resonated
You're
with
a boomer
us,
like me.
that's what my kids call me, man, boomer.
Hey, I got some gray too.
But that's where our audience was. And when we sat down after our first year of being in business, we wanted to reach a younger demographic. So TikTok was where we found a lot of that. And going into places that we weren't comfortable with and making ourselves uncomfortable is really where we started resonating with that demographic. So I think as a business owner, to just get back to the question, is you really have to understand who you're going after, understand where they're living, and find out how you can live there, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And that's given us a lot of success.
I'd like to go back to our young gun over here, because TikTok is pretty hot right now. A matter of fact, I had a couple stats that I'll have to go through and bring up on my phone a little bit later. But from what I heard is that TikTok is the largest video platform, period, right now. and
Yeah.
it's growing. The user base is going crazy. And what I thought is very interesting is because I didn't even know what TikTok was until my, at the time, I think she was 10 or 11 years old, niece asked me to come and do a TikTok dance with her. And I'm not a dancer, I'll tell you that. But when I learned about it, I only made an account because of her. And I was blown away to find that now it's attracting an older audience. It's attracting more of us. It's attracting the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, even the 50s. You see a lot of things coming up, especially for you.
Yeah.
I mean, the mom section
Absolutely.
is mind-bogglingly large. So how are you guys using, maybe I'll go to mom here. How are you using LinkedIn or TikTok versus like LinkedIn or versus like Facebook? Do you do different content for each, or are you like repurposing things? Like let's move into the repurposing. Like how does it look like to do TikTok versus LinkedIn? Is it different audiences, is it different platforms? Like what does it look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I help people create a content strategy, the first thing that you have to go with is who are you reaching in that platform and what are they used to consuming. So when you think about LinkedIn, the content that you consume there is really professional, sober, inspirational, and entertaining, but really casual. When you go to TikTok, it's more about authenticity and showing up as your full self. And so I think that when you go into repurposing, you gotta know tactically and strategically, how can I repurpose this in a way that fits the platform? So you can repurpose a lot of things. And actually, you can create one piece of content and make 50 pieces of content with that. But I think that let's say that you make a long form video, you're gonna have those splices that are gonna be good for TikTok, but then those steps that are very tactical that you can share on LinkedIn, and then that story that maybe is more for Facebook. So you create a long piece, long form content, and same with your blog, right, with your story. And some you can repurpose as images, some of it can be repurposed as video, some of it you can strip the audio and put out a podcast. So you just gotta know where it's going and who's there and how they expect to interact with you.
That's so good. And now hopefully you guys out here in the audience are going to get some good stuff here, because what I've found too is that storytelling is way different on every platform. Like you got 15 seconds on TikTok, maybe 30 seconds if you can really capture their attention with a good story. Now they've opened it up to 3 minutes, and then now they have 10 minutes. But I've never watched a 10-minute TikTok. I don't know. I've never watched a 10-minute TikTok. So how do you? What do you start with? Like for you, I'd love to hear how you're approaching the situation. Like where do you think you're getting the most reach right now? Would you say it's TikTok? What platform?
Probably Instagram at the moment. A lot of my audience is already there, and it's great for video. TikTok is also amazing for video content. And I really think that video is the best content right now for any business to use. And I think it's really important that when you use video, you also have captions, because it's accessible. Nobody's going to be watching a TikTok video in public with the sound on. So it's really important to have those captions. But yes, Instagram and TikTok are really where the video content is at, and that's where I'm getting my reach.
Wow. I think that's a really huge nugget right there, because actually from what I found in the data, I did a little research before this panel. I wanted to look smart. Okay. I know I got some growing to do to get to your level. But I learned that 70% of Facebook videos were watched with the sound off. And I was mind blown at that stat. Mm-hmm. That was Facebook released that stat, and I was so confused. And then it made me realize, wow, that's why captions are so important, because everybody who's watching these videos, if you don't have captions, you're missing out on an audience that's watching you at work. They don't want anyone to see you, right? Maybe they're in the bathroom. They don't want to wake up the kids.
The babies.
School.
Right? They're at school messing around, especially TikTok. I bet you a lot of those videos are watched with the sound off.
Oh, yeah.
So how are you implementing on your video platform? Are you using captions? And do you have a different strategy? I'd like to do a roundtable on this. I'll start with you, Ruben.
Yeah.
But how are you using short form content right? For video, short form video, is there a format you've learned that works the best? Is it captions? Is it introduction, no introduction? Like, is it random stuff? Is it scripted? Like, I'd love to hear a little bit. I think everyone would like to hear, like, what's working best.
Yeah. So, perfect example. Before we came up, you were asking me, hey, I need to get mic'd up. And I'm mic'd up right now because this is something we're doing internal. So as soon as we're done here today, we're going to grab 15 to 30-second clips of this entire talk. And this is going to give us content for the next 30 days. And we're just going to drop this, and we're going to take the funny moments. We're going to drop them on TikTok. We're going to take the serious moments that have a learning value to it, and it's going to go to LinkedIn for our professional audience. So everything that you do when you're in business, if I'm in our warehouse and we're creating T-shirts, I'm always doing videos, and it'll be quick and punchy, and I'll put that with some dope music, and it'll go on an IG reel, and people are going to just go crazy over it. So everything is content.
Everything is content. That's the click to tweet button right there.
I love it.
Right? What about you guys? What do you find?
Well, when I think about storytelling online, and this goes for every platform, but especially for video, I think that people want something authentic. And I have 3 elements that I call the 3 Ps of storytelling. And number 1 is your pain. People want a struggle that they can relate to. Number 2 is the P is the purpose. They want something aspirational, something that, aligns with their goals, with their vision that they have for themselves. And the third one is really your purpose. So I said pain and purpose and your personality is that you're bringing your full self. If you're funny, you're funny. If you're serious, you're serious. If you have an ASMR voice like I do, then you bring that too. I'm very silly, and when I bring that silliness and I dress up in like a Disney character, or I do something fun because I'm not a regular mom, I'm a fun mom.
Fun mom. Those are the best moms.
Yes, exactly. So that's when really people start to engage. And another thing that I wanted to say is that there are 3 things when you're telling a story that really bring the story to life. And number 1 is bringing emotion. It has to be emotion because that's really how you connect with people. It's when you evoke those emotions and when you bring emotional contrast into the video. So you kind of take them on a journey with you, you know what I'm saying? And then also the second thing is when you bring the senses, when you really engage every sense that they have. And the last thing that I'm going to say is basically that you make a scene. You bring them there with you. And I have an example for you. So when we started talking, I told you that I started my blog and we were experiencing homelessness. Well, there are 2 ways to tell that story. I could tell you, my girls were 1 and 2. I became a single mom. I had experienced domestic violence, and then I became homeless. So that's really sad, right? Because nobody wants that. But I could also tell it this way. I could say, I was in a dark room. It was 2:00 in the morning. I'm laying on the ground in the fetal position. My cheek is touching the cold tile floor. And I'm tasting my tears, thinking, why am I even alive?
Wow. I mean, that was powerful. Talk about a difference. Yeah? Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
That touched me, and I could feel it. And probably for you guys, you could probably visualize what that scene looked like. That's incredible. I know. So, funny enough, I've gone viral a few times on TikTok.
Ew.
Yeah. So I had over 250 million views on one of my videos.
Okay, that deserves a clap, you guys.
Round of applause.
Well, until you hear about what it was.
Uh-oh.
So what ended up happening was I am a huge gaming fanatic. Anybody who looks me up is going to know I'm a huge gamer. And I'm that kind of gamer who spends like $13,000 on a gaming rig. And I actually have the most viral gaming rig in existence.
Wow.
And the video has gone viral. And you guys will notice I'm swagged out with my Savage Marketer swag, right? So I actually custom ordered this zero gravity gaming rig that has my Savage Marketer logos all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
And when I posted my very first video on TikTok, it did not go viral. And matter of fact, somebody hated on me and said, imagine spending $10,000 on a gaming rig and still being bad.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what I did is I did a reply comment. How do you guys feel about replying in a video comment to things? Have you
Literally
seen
the
those?
best way
Oh,
to
yeah.
get
right?
people
Yeah, gotta
because
do
they
it.
love that drama. They're
And-
like, ooh, you replied. Let
and
me click on that.
See, this is why you guys need to hire her. If you are looking at getting your amp up on social media, I know you probably don't even offer this, but this is I
could offer it.
I need. There you go. I need some of that youthful energy in my business because I'm a boomer. All right. And by the way, when I went viral, I got lots of those. But what's really interesting is I did a video response, and I have a video editing team. I have a $6,500 C100 camera. I've got all these things. And of all the videos that went viral, it was a video of me hitting the video reply button to a troll who told me basically I was bad and wasted money on a chair. And it was literally me pressing my recline zero gravity button and letting my chair go back. And I didn't do anything.
I love it.
All I was doing was going back.
That sounds like viral content right there.
And guess what? I made the most viral video and viral hashtag of September of last year.
Wow.
It was adult money. And there was this funny video. Okay, here's the best part about storytelling. You can steal other people's stories and make them your own on TikTok. And that matter of fact, that's how that platform grew up and went viral.
Borrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Model.
Repurpose.
Repurpose. Stitch, right?
Yes.
So what I did was there was this funny video that I couldn't get out of my head. And it was this guy, and I'm going to use, no, I will not use the language, but I'll do a substitution. And it's basically a guy walking down his hallway, and all you do is see his feet. And he says, living on your own and stuff is cool, but now that I'm an adult, I have adult money, which means I can buy whatever I want, which means I end up buying like this. And he lifts up his phone, and it shows a shower curtain of a dinosaur riding a unicycle that above it says the word beaches. All right? But the bad word of beaches. Yeah. And
I got it.
I was like, this is so funny. And I used that audio. So there I am just reclining in my chair. And just so you guys can have visualization, it literally has a 49-inch screen. Like I have this crazy chair. And all I'm doing is reclining back while it says on video, well, now that I have this money, I buy ridiculous things like this. And I've never experienced virality before. And when that went viral, my phone, I literally had to just put it away. Good. Because there were so many notifications. It got 250 million views. Wow. And that one video got 19 million. But then what happened was TikTok's official gaming channel downloaded it and reposted it. Pubicity reposted it. Hoodvids reposted it.
Amazing.
And of course, I didn't care that they reposted it. Of course, they didn't. Some of them didn't even tag me, but I didn't care because I had my swag. Exactly. Everybody knew. Mm-hmm. So it got to that point. So I guess the moral of the story is that it's not always the content that you plan to go viral and make an impact.
That's a fact.
Sometimes it's the random video that you set up on your phone on a whack, not even makeshift tripod that captures a stupid moment and goes viral. So,
and I want to say about that you also make your plan of what happens when you go viral before you go viral.
I messed up.
You have a lot
Guys,
of time on your hands.
Let me tell you something. This is probably the best nugget that you've got out of this whole talk. You're never prepared when it happens. So if you guys are ready, this is what I would highly recommend, is that before you go viral, you just set everything up so that moment that you do go viral, you're ready. Because what happened was I completely wasted an opportunity because that game chair totally reached out to me and was like, oh my God, you're like the #1 affiliate for our gaming rig. And I didn't have my affiliate link set up. And they had the best sales ever. They sold out of the gaming chair.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually felt bad that I didn't get referrals, and they sent me a free one. They sent me a second one for my son, which will be my next viral video.
Yes.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the panel today. You guys are just a wealth of information.
Thank you.
You guys, if you have any questions, we're going to make sure we have all the links to all of their socials and website. You can check it out at gritdaily.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I hope the rest of you guys have a great time at South by Southwest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.